Good morning, afternoon, or evening, y'all. My name is Shannon, and today we are going to be picking my May TBR. I'm so excited to be doing this video. I am so excited for May and the warmer weather, and I'm so excited that May is finally here. Or almost here, I should say. As usual, I'm going to be picking 10 books, and we'll go from there. So let's just get started. A romantasy. Okay. I do not want books to fall on me right now. I think May is going to be the month for me to finish Powerless, because I started this back in September, right after I finished Six of Crows, and I could feel myself becoming kind of obsessed, so I took a break. I definitely would like to get back into it, because I was loving it when I was reading it. This book is about Peyton, and she is a normal person living in a world where people have like magical abilities, and anyone that doesn't is killed. And somehow she ends up saving the prince's life and being entered into this Hunger Games like trial game where all of these elites that have powers are forced to, like, compete. Only obviously she doesn't have any powers. And it's a romance between Peyton and the prince she saves. It sounds so good. It was excellent when I started reading it. I just got a little scared, I guess, because I knew I was going to love it. So I'd love to finish this month. Next one. A Friends to Lovers. I don't know that I have any back here. Does the Addicted series count as Friends to Lovers? I read Addicted to You at the beginning of 2024. I think it was the second book I read in 2024. Absolutely ate it up, like the way I love Magnolia Parks ate it up. And it gave me very similar vibes as well, but I just never picked the series up again. I would really enjoy reading, like, getting back into this, I think. And the ending of Addicted to You was crazy, so I am really excited to get back into it. I just never did. I kind of, like, lost my momentum, I guess, but I think I'm gonna have this on here. Next. An author you've never read before. Let me read the description of this and I'll get back to you. I think I'm gonna have Babel by R.F. Kuang on here. I've really started to get into religion again and repairing my relationship with God lately. So I've been reading the Bible, and in the Bible is the story of Babel. And that immediately got me intrigued into what this book was when I first read that. And it looks like this is about a boy named Robin in 1828, where he enrolls in the Oxford University Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. And the whole story of Babel in the Bible is that all of mankind comes together, they have a singular language, and they try to build a tower to the heavens. And God sees this and says that if they can do this, then nothing they try to do will be impossible. And so he confuses them and separates their languages so that they can't understand one another. And I just think it's going to be such an incredible book, and I'm so excited to read this. Next. A retelling. Okay. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a Queen of Hearts retelling. It says, Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried king, but her interests lie elsewhere. A talented baker, she wants to open a shop and create delectable pastries. But for her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for a woman who could be a queen. And she ends up falling in love with the jester, it seems, when she's supposed to be falling in love with the king. It sounds incredible. I've always loved Alice in Wonderland as a story, and I love villain backstories, and so I imagine I will love this. I also really enjoyed Marissa Meyer's, I don't know what the series is called, but the first book in the series is Cinder, and I really enjoyed that series, so I imagine I will also like this. Next, a red cover. I want to try to not pick another fantasy because we already have 3. Is this red? No, that's blue. Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld Field. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. If you are new to my channel, you would be unaware of the fact that Pride and Prejudice is probably my favorite romance book. Actually, scratch that. It is absolutely my favorite romance book of all time. So I'm not sure. The writing may be horrible. I don't know. I am sincerely hoping I will also love this. So it looks like in this retelling, Lizzie is a magazine writer and Jane is a yoga instructor, and their father falls ill, so they go back to their home in Cincinnati and they meet Mr. Bingley, who is a doctor, and Mr. Darcy, who is a neurosurgeon. It sounds so good. I obviously know I already love the plot because I've read the plot before, but the retelling and the writing, I'm very intrigued to read, and I'm glad I can have it on my TBR for this month. We're halfway through. A book published this year. That doesn't give me a lot of options because it's pretty early on in the year still, I think. For this, I'm gonna have to pick Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This came out at the beginning of March. It is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series, I believe is what it's called. This is a marriage of convenience trope where Tabitha and Reese have to get married in order for Tabitha to keep guardianship of her nephew, and it sounds really good. I always love single parent tropes. I'm sure this will be no different, and I adore Elsie Silver's writing, so I know I'm gonna love this. Next, a beautiful cover. Okay, I kind of want to put a literary fiction book just because we haven't really had a lot of them. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. I'm gonna be choosing The Wife App for this by Carolyn Mackler. I heard about this book a year ago before it came out, and I knew immediately I had to get it. Yes, this book is about Lauren, Madeline, and Sophie, and they are all kind of angry at the world and specifically at the industry that is marriage. And they come up with the idea to create an app that will basically have them being paid for the duties a wife usually does, but in this case they will be hired to do those things instead of, in their mind, kind of like giving it for free. Like all the things that wives and mothers do on a daily basis for no kind of monetary gain, I think. But it sounds so good, kind of like the First Wives Club almost a little bit, and it just sounds like something I would absolutely eat up, and I'm very excited to read it. Next one. A book that became a movie or is becoming a movie. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is one of the last Emily Henry books I have yet to read. I only have Book Lovers and Great Big Beautiful Life left after this. This book is being made into a movie with Tom Blythe and Emily Bader Both actors I love, and I'm so excited to read it. This is about Poppy and Alex. I believe this is kind of like a friends to enemies to lovers, I think, because Poppy and Alex became friends in college and they continuously went on this vacation every year together, except something happened a couple years ago and now they don't speak to each other. But something happens where they come back together for like one final vacation, I think, and it just sounds so good, and I love Emily Henry. I'm sure I will love this, and I'm very excited to read this. Next one. Oh my gosh. Blue cover. So we have a red cover and now a blue cover. I'm actually gonna go check my other bookshelves real quick. So for a blue cover, I definitely have to pick Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. The 2 books of hers I have read, I rated 5 stars, which was Carrie Soto Is Back and Daisy Jones and the Six. This, I believe, is kind of part of the same, like, interconnected standalone series. I don't know if it's actually a series, but people call it, like, the Hollywood series or something like that, where these books are all kind of, like, about fame and that kind of stuff. I think the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is also on that, and that is on my TBR for April. But I've wanted to read this so long. It supposedly takes place over 24 hours, where it flips back and forth in time from the parents on this day and the children on this day, and I believe it reflects all of the ways that our parents affect us, that life affects us, and I honestly think I will end up adoring this book. So I'm really happy I get to have it on my TBR this month. Okay, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have one left. A fantasy book. That is so easy. Sorry. I know what I'm gonna pick, but it's not in here. One second. The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. I read another Olivia Blake book in March. I read Masters of Death, and I loved that. I started to read this. I don't know if you can see from the tabs, but I started to read it years ago. Like, right when I first started getting back into reading, I started to read this, and I ended up stopping solely because I found out this ended on a cliffhanger, and it wasn't a standalone. I previously thought it was. So I stopped reading it until the entire series came out. However, the entire series is out, and I still haven't picked this book back up. I was much more of a fantasy reader when I started getting back into reading again. Now I am really back into fantasy like I was then, and I would love to read this. I absolutely was eating it up when I did start it. Literally the only reason I didn't finish it was because the full series wasn't out, but it is out now, and I'm so excited to start this. This is a book that follows 6 separate people through this school, I believe. Yes, the Alexandrian Society, and 6 recruits come in, only 5 come out at the end of the first year, and it's just such an incredible story. I could start to see a romance brewing between 2 of the characters, and I'm just so excited to finally get back into this series. Oh, I'm so excited. But those are all the books I'm going to be having on my May TBR. If you want a refresher, they're all right here. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All of my social media is linked down below for you guys. If you stayed until this point in the video, I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate each and every single one of your beautiful faces so much. I hope you all are having an absolutely incredible morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!